Elevate your hatching egg shipping business with Beyond the Egg. Discover the art of premium packaging, master the details of shipping, and create an unforgettable experience for your customers. Enhance your reputation, build lasting trust, and set your business apart as the gold standard. Visit beyondtheegg.com to begin your journey to excellence.
Welcome back, poultry nerds. Today we are going back to basics on getting started with chickens. How old were you when you got started?
I got my first chickens when I was somewhere around 6, 7.
Same.
My granddaddy, I would go spend summers at his house because his house was between our house and where my mom worked. So she'd drop me off, pick me up. And I loved his chickens. And I asked him for a long time if he would get me some. And one summer, we built a pen at the house, and he got me about 8 or 10 of them. And I had some little black Bantam chickens.
No, were they game fowl? Or just little bannies?
Like they were just little bannies. Like 3 eggs to make one regular large egg type little.
Yeah,
I didn't care. Look, I was in elementary school and I had some chickens.
Yeah. Well, I thought they were leghorns, but Dad told me a couple weeks ago they weren't. They were white rocks. That's what we had growing up. Nice. But I didn't care. They were mean and I hated them, and I swore I would never have chickens again.
Yeah. See how that worked out.
Yeah, exactly. So
life lesson, people. Never say never.
Exactly. So we've noticed a trend on social media, all the fancy coops and chandeliers and wallpapers and all the fancy stuff, which is great and fine. And if that's what floats your boat, go for it. But there is another group of people who just want basics, or they can't afford the fancy coops and they really just want to get started with chickens. So we want to kind of reach out to those people and make sure that everybody understands that you don't have to have a chandelier coop in order to have birds.
I mean, like some people's, I saw it looked like a castle that somebody had built. And they're like, my chicken coop's finally done. And, I just thought, okay, that somebody built a coop. Look, I would straight up live in that thing. It was nice.
So I saw one yesterday that had air conditioning and a refrigerator.
Was it a guy's or a girl's?
It was a guy, but he was building it for his wife.
I was going to say, because, sometimes, I don't know. Do women like to just go sit and watch their birds and do nothing? Is that a thing for y'all, or is that just an old man thing?
I do. Isn't that the point of having them?
I thought, but like my wife don't care nothing about chickens. And I'm okay with that. She lets me do what I want to do. So I don't say anything. But maybe the refrigerator's for him or her. It can get hot, so you go sit out there. You got air conditioning, bottled water in the fridge, or they may. This is actually a pretty cool idea. Turn the fridge into a kegerator, and then put you a water line on it with some cups, and that way the bird's water stays in the refrigerator in the summertime.
So he had a water barrel above the refrigerator in the air-conditioned room, so the chickens had cool water all the time.
That's perfect.
Okay, well, let's talk about what you really need for chickens.
There's a difference in need and want, and I feel like that person just straight up got what they wanted, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people have really amazing, fancy $1,500, $2,000 brooder systems. And some people use storage tubs.
Well, I use storage tubs.
I've got some.
Mm-hmm.
Storage tubs works great. If you got something made out of wood, works great.
Well, how did you brood them when you were a kid? Do you remember?
I didn't brew them when I was a kid.
Okay, so we had a stove box. Remember when stoves used to come in boxes or dishwashers?
Yeah.
And we had a box, and Dad would go to the co-op, pick up the chicks, and we would put them in a box with newspaper on the bottom and a heat lamp, and we would just throw food over the side because we were too short to reach down in there. And I think he must have done the water because I don't remember doing the water.
Probably didn't want you to spill.
Right. But that's it. That's all we did. I mean, and we had chickens all the time. So that will work. A box and newspaper and throw feed at them, literally. Let the kids throw it.
Yeah. My toddler, she is right at 20 months. And she's got to where she will come out there with me. I put some turkeys, like 6 or 8 of them, outside not terribly long ago, and that's what really got her curiosity, is because they're so docile. And so she would actually get close to them, even though they were almost as big as she was. And like they just stood there like, "Hey, what are you? You're not far from my size. You got some food in your hand?" And so she likes it. And I think the flip side of that, I have a 22-year-old grown woman, has an RN degree, big girl job, bought her own house, everything, terrified of baby chicks. Make that make sense. I always tease her. I say, well, it's because you're scared they're going to find out you ate their cousin, because this kid eats chicken. She can eat chicken every meal. But
Well, so if you were just starting out and you were on a budget and just wanted to test the water to see if chickens were for you, then you can get by with a box, newspaper, some heat, and some feed and a waterer. You do need a waterer, appropriate water.
yeah.
You can't get away from that.
And part of when I saw what we were going to talk about, I got really excited because Jennifer, she comes up with a lot of topics because I can squirrel and go crazy with that. I kind of got excited because I actually had a friend of mine today tell me a sad story about his first chick experience. And I said, my guy, you should have called me, because one thing that he didn't do that's very important when you're hen hatching is, after the chicks were born, he did not separate chicks and mama from the rest of the flock. He grew up in the city. He didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
They were excited. They lived for a couple of days, and the rest of the flock put a stop to it. So, if you see a hen sitting on a clutch, personally, I wouldn't mess with it. I'd pay attention to it. And right after they all hatched, when you started seeing them move around, I'd separate them from the rest of the group.
I would too. That's what I do.
And if mama starts acting funny, get a heat plate and kick her butt outside.
Do that too. So, in the whole world of what chicks do I choose? I mean, there's so many out there. For starter chicks, I would just recommend a neighbor's barnyard mix.
I was gonna say, for starter chicks, I would go as absolutely cheap as possible. And if you find on Marketplace or something, somebody's got barnyard mix. Those are going to be your cheapest hatching eggs to get. Or if you start with chicks, they'll still be your cheapest chicks. Or
Start with chicks.
something you find at a feed store.
Yeah.
Don't get the $10, $15 ones. Get the $2. Wait till they go on sale and get the $2 or $3 ones.
Yeah.
Start like that. Start cheap, because raising chicks ain't for everybody.
No.
We'll be right back.
Looking to rock some seriously comfy gear? If you love chickens and you're all about that fun style, then Chicken Box has got the perfect t-shirts for you. From quirky designs to classic looks, their shirts are as comfy as us chicken tenders deserve. They even have a subscription service so your coop doesn't get bored. Head over to PoultryNerdsPodcast.com and click on Chicken Box to get your comfy shirts and support the podcast.
And so once you get them home, you do need heat. Now, I recommend brooder plates. I'm not a fan of the heat lamps, especially if you've got kids and you're using a cardboard box. Just get a heat plate. So at the end of I've added it all up here. So if you use just a cardboard box, some newspaper, a bag of feed, a water, you're at like $65.
Well, and there's places like BryantStreets.com where you can go and get a kit that has the feeder, the water, brooder plate. And don't you even package it in a box that they can use?
No, I don't put it in a box.
Okay, everything but the box.
Yeah.
The size of that will eat you up on shipping. But you
the
get it.
Amazon boxes are everywhere.
I was gonna say, get a kit like that. And if you want to be super fancy, go to Lowe's and get one of those yellow or red top storage containers. Use that. Anything like that, because when you're done, if you don't like it, spray it out with a hose pipe. You clean, good to go. Now you got a storage container. If you do like it, I'm sorry, but you may wind up buying a bunch more. I mean, it's addicting.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so now you've got them. You're brooding them. Put the food on. I mean, we used a paper plate or just throw it down on the newspaper. You can buy a feeder. It's not really necessary. I don't use feeders for the first few days for my button quail. So chicks don't need, feeders really either. I mean, after a few days, I think I would, but a paper plate would be sufficient. Just something to kind of keep it up a little bit.
Yeah, something to keep it up out of their waist.
Yep. And then if you wanted just to be a little bit more than the bare minimum, I would say the next purchase would be shavings, just to get them off the newspaper, because you're going to be
Get the
changing
stall
the newspaper
pellets.
a lot.
Get the stall pellets. You'll be glad.
Yeah, stall pellets, $6. Same thing. Shavings or stall pellets, still $6. Yep. Okay, so then you're going to keep them in the house warm until they're ready to go outside, and that is going to depend on the time of year. So if it's summertime and it's 188 degrees outside, then you can put them out at like 4 or 5 weeks. If it's January and cold, you're going to need to wait 8 to 10 weeks. So plan your chick buy-in accordingly. If you're going to just buy your neighbor's barnyard mixes, you're probably going to be buying those in May or June anyway. So out. But don't be the first person in line at the box store in February, because 8 weeks from that date could still be really cold, and you're going to have these bigger chicks in your house wondering.
And see, when you look outside and you're like, or you come home from work and you're like, oh, it's 180 degrees. Like she said, I can put them outside. But we're not talking about in the heat of the day. It needs to be above, at least 60 to 70 at night.
True.
Now, if you want to get real crazy, you can put a coop outside and you can put a heat plate in it, and you can brood chicks in it on the ground, and they'll live. But I don't recommend that for the rookie.
No, I wouldn't do that for the rookie because the ground has to be warm.
Hey, you get them big plates like what we have.
Well, we're talking about beginners here, so
That's
let's
true.
just So what they're laying on has to be warm too.
Yep.
Okay. So once you do put them outside, they need to be in a dry space. Keeping them dry and out of a draft is the most important thing when they're juveniles.
Yep. Very important, because like if it rains and you get water in your coop, well, chickens are stupid. They're going to clump together, and they're going to be wet and cold together.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to walk out to check on them, and they're not going to be breathing wet and cold together.
Right.
Yep. They'll pile up to try to get warm, and it don't work that way for chicks.
So when I was a kid, we had a really old barn, like that was leaning really bad. And when you walked in it, you had to kind of duck as you went closer to the back because of all the wash that came through it. And we used the front, I guess it was a stall at some point, or a store, maybe an old tack room or something, because it had a door. Lots of spiders, lots of mice, lots of
Perfect.
all kinds of stuff. And we used that, and
But it was dry and it didn't have wind.
Correct.
Or a lot of wind.
Dad got big rolls of chicken wire. I was not around when he did it, but of course I saw it after he was done. But he just stapled the chicken wire all over the place. Now, back in those days, I don't remember that there was hardware cloth existing. Everybody just used chicken wire.
So you put a couple layers of that and hope for the best?
Yes. It was stapled to the wood. I mean, this is, the barn. I mean, I'm talking about the floor, ceiling, everything was covered in chicken wire.
Wasn't
It
nothing
did.
getting in.
Oh, well, we don't say that. So he had roost on one wall, and in the corner, he took some more chicken wire and kind of like tinted it out of the corner. And that's where the juveniles went to live. So they were in the coop, but not necessarily with the bigger birds.
Yeah.
Okay. So the black snakes can go through the chicken wire. But once they eat the chicks, they can't come out of the chicken wire.
I mean, so that goes to say what we've always said about chicken wire is it's not so much to keep the predators out, it's to keep the chickens in.
Yeah, to make it easier for the predators to eat.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And we still ended up with lots of chicks, but I don't care if you really have Fort Knox. There's always going to be a predator issue, and it can be as small as an oocyst of coccidia is technically a predator because it can kill your chicks from the inside out, all the way up to I guess a bear if you live up north, right?
I mean, John's had issues like that up in Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
Bears, mountain lions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I mean, everything likes chicken.
Exactly. So you just need to kind of keep your predator situation within reason, understand what you're dealing with, and then go from there. So if you don't have an old barn, you could use an old shed, a dog house. I don't know what they're called. I put in the outline pallet box, but you'll know what I'm talking about. Those shipping boxes you see for free on the side of the road in front of warehouses and stuff.
The cardboard ones are called Gaylord containers, which is a funny name. I don't know why in the world they would call it that. I don't know, but the ones that like you go to the store in summertime that have watermelons and cantaloupes in it.
Yep.
That's called a Gaylord. And the ones that are made out of wood are just shipping boxes.
Yeah, and you can. I mean, around here you just see them on the side of the road and stop pick them up.
Yep. Or people will actually post them for free on Facebook too. Okay. But yeah, they're all over.
So think outside the box, about the box.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you want to put a roost in there. A nice, I use 2x4s. There's always seems to be a 2x4 laying around somewhere, flat side
Yep.
up. About my roost here are all 20 inches off the ground. You do not have to put it up high. I
Mm-mm.
mean, they're chickens. They just want to roost, and you want to encourage them to roost so they're not piling up, like we talked about earlier.
Yep.
And
And
then,
like for this, depending on how your coop is and what you do, you and I actually got the idea from you, so I know you do it, but make sawhorses
mhm,
that are like 1.5 feet, 2 foot tall.
mhm.
Whatever you got in 2x4s. I saw that idea and I went home and made me some that were like 4 foot long, 20-ish inches tall. And I laid them things out and they figured it out real quick.
Yeah, I have baby sawhorses everywhere.
Mhm.
You do need to make sure there's ventilation. They need fresh air. You don't want to build a coffin, so make sure that you put air holes in there
Mhm.
and then cover them with hardware cloth or make
Yep.
them too small for snakes to get in. And then during the day, just let them out.
That's what the quarter square hardware calls for.
Oh, for covering the holes.
I can't think of anything else practical that small of a square would be for, except to keep a snake out.
Yeah, that's true. Um, and then during the day, you don't need this fancy run with sand. I always, when I see these sands in the coops, because I don't use sand, um, but what's those Chinese gardens with the little rakes and then you go out there and like
That's a
meditate.
Zen garden.
A Zen garden. Yeah, chickens don't need Zen gardens.
And
I mean, they're nice.
I've tried the sand. I do raise some of the birds I raise are game fowl, and I tried sand in their pen. And for the first couple weeks, I said, man, this is solid. I like this. It's cool. It's always dry, keeps them up. They scratch in it. Their mess disappears practically. Great. Couple of really good solid rains. I have a lot of sand in my yard, but not where I wanted it. So yeah.
Well, I've never used sand. It's a texture thing for me.
Yeah, I don't like walking in it.
No. So you don't need runs or fancy things, covers and stuff. You can just let them out. Mine are out. A lot of mine are out. When I was a kid, they ran with the cows and into the woods and across the yard. And
If you
in
feed them
occasion,
right, they're not leaving.
no, they'll come back. They know where home is.
They're like
Now,
teenagers.
you do have to be aware again of predators and just, there's pros and cons to everything.
Right.
They'll be healthier because they're out eating bugs and rocks and getting sunshine and drinking out of rain puddles and I mean doing things that chickens should be doing,
I was gonna say chicken stuff.
but they'll be safer in a enclosed run from predators. So there's pros and
Now,
cons.
when you go off the deep end and
Chicken math takes over.
chicken algebra kicks in, it's right after chicken math. You'll have a couple dogs that are like the size of a small horse, and they'll lay there and let your chicken get on their back, but they'll keep aerial predators away.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Larger chickens or
down the
turkey,
road, yeah,
they'll keep stuff away.
yep,
But when they're outside, they'll find shade when it's really hot outside. My ducks currently are sleeping underneath the horse trailer. They'll go under bushes, they'll go under rocks, they do what they do. They're just going to be out there doing their thing. Let's see. Now, as far as the balance is concerned, the pros and cons, that's basically going to come down to your farm, your rules. There's no right and wrong way to raise chickens. If you want them in air conditioning with chandeliers and you can afford it, by all means, go for it.
Heck yeah.
But
And
if
send
you,
us pictures.
yes, and if you just want to dip your toes into it and just see if chickens is for you, then slap some pallets together and put a 2x4 cross.
There's a guy down the road from me that I saw him building like he was building a fort. I'm like, he's a grown man. And one day, like, I stopped and he was building a chicken coop, and he made like a 12 by 12 square out of pallets with a doorway, and then he went up another level of pallets. So it's like, I think pallets are 40 inches wide, so it's like 80 inches tall. He's got construction anchor screws that he screwed them together with, which, yes, that's an overkill, but when your only expense is free pallets, gas to go get them, and these ridiculously expensive screws, you're in good shape. And he did that. And he was like, "What do I need to do to protect them?" I said, "Dude, throw you a tarp over the roof and set some 2x4s on top of that and screw through the 2x4s and into your pallets. Wrap you some chicken wire around the outer walls and get you some 20-inch wide, half-inch hardware cloth. Put that around the bottom. You're done." It is not pretty, but it's functional as all get out. And I think I'd be surprised if he had $200 in it. Tarps can be expensive though.
Well, I was going to say the one thing I would caution anybody against using the first time was a tarp. We made we made Tent City one time when I first got turkeys. She brought turkeys down to me, and I wasn't expecting them. I wasn't ready for them, and so
That's the
we
best
went out.
kind.
We kind of attached them between 3 trees. We put a tarp up and
Mhm.
wrapped the wire around the 3 trees to kind of keep them enclosed until we could, a couple days until we could get something else like longer term.
Mhm.
And it rained.
Yeah.
So I went out there and there was a bowl of rainwater and turkey heads like squished up against the wire.
Nice.
Like,
No, so I had him, like, there's a piece of PVC pipe going through the middle that raises the middle of the tarp
okay.
because, yeah,
Yeah.
that it's not going to hold up snow at all,
Nope.
but it'll shed the rain. And
Yep.
in the South, I think in the last 5 years, no, in the last 8 years, which is how long we've been living where we are, I have had enough snow to mess up a tarp roof on a chicken pen once, but it also had a really good angle on it.
My pens, my brooder pens up here, they are welded wire
Mm-hmm.
with 4x4s in concrete with structure
Mm-hmm.
with poultry netting across the top. So this is just to give you an idea of what kind of damage snow can do. So the 4x4 in concrete, structure, poultry netting across the top, and then
Mm-hmm.
I put a sunshade up, and it was up all summer, it was up all fall, and I didn't think anything about it. And it snowed like 6 inches overnight, and it broke the 4x4s off at the concrete base. No lie,
Wow.
it broke them off and collapsed my entire run.
So mine was made out of 1.5-inch metal pipe. And we had some crazy downpours over the years. But that snow got about 7-8 inches deep, and that's all she wrote.
Well,
So
now I put the sunshades under the poultry netting with Timu's, clips. What are they called? The snap clips things.
carabiners.
There you go, carabiners. I call them snap clips, and I know that's not right. But the Timu version, so they're really cheap and they break really easy. So the sunshades are up with those. And so if the wind blows over 8 miles an hour, they fall, which is what I
And
want.
look, those things, the spring pops in them and the clip comes out.
Hmm.
But you know, something like that, you're purposely designing the weak point. So what gets damaged is your $5 worth of clips, not your $200 net or whatever you got in the rest of it.
Yeah.
So that's really smart.
Yep. And I put it under the poultry netting.
Makes sense.
Yep. So anyway, I hope that more people get chickens. We really, really want people to know where their food comes from, have fresh eggs. I mean, that's the whole kind of reason we do this, is to help people, have the confidence to go out and do stuff.
Yeah. Or, people that just want to live through it and not actually do it. We're just two folks that talk about it.
All right. So I made a list of some things on the Zon that people can buy, and we're just going to go through them really, really quick.
Okay.
Chick grit.
They need it.
Okay. Chick perches.
They look good. Gotta have them.
And
look, some of the ones that I've seen on there, they're like really fancy. Like they're a little kit. It's got the screws, little screwdriver, dowel rods. Complete waste of money, but they look cute. You can go to your big box hardware store and get a 2x4 and anchor that thing on its side and let the 3.5 inches wide of it be what holds it up for your day old up to a couple week old chicks. And they're high cotton getting up there on that thing. So
you know what I did when I first got chicks as an adult? I had them in a dog crate and I shoved a broom handle through it.
And I bet they loved it.
Yeah, they were fine.
Yeah.
Auto doors.
I mean, okay, so here, I'm not a fan of them.
Me either.
And here's prime example why. My same buddy, he wanted me to set him up with 50 laying hens. He eats a ridiculous amount of protein and was spending a literal fortune on eggs because egg whites is like a huge part of his daily diet. 3 dozen a day to the tune of. So I was like, all right, cool. So we do this. And he got one of them fancy doors because that's what he found searching on the interwebs on a YouTube video. And he's lost 2 out of the 50. And one of the ones did not get inside before the door shut. And she went over and got in the grass, a real tall area, and a raccoon found her. So I'd almost rather leave the door open than have an automatic door.
Yep.
Personally.
All right, a fancy water with cups.
So you're going to get them anyway. Don't let us change your mind because they're cool and the concept's great. But after you have your chickens get to being crazy, doing chicken stuff in your coop, and they pop one of the springs out and flood your coop, or you get tired of replacing them things every few weeks because they're break and they're brittle and the sun messes them up because they're cheap. You do you. Your farm, your rules.
I use buckets.
The cups work great indoors.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Other times, they flood your barn.
A turkey stepped on my auto water system Saturday afternoon and snapped it off.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That happens.
We're going to nipples in those pins. Okay, a chicken swing. Have you ever bought a chicken swing?
Get you a bell water. Have I bought a chicken? I wouldn't even make a chicken swing.
Yeah, me neither.
Look, I have seen them, and I've seen some really cool designs. and they may be swinging on it, or they may just not be able to balance. But I don't really buy either because the chickens are stupid. So them figuring out how to swing blows my mind. And the fact that they can balance on a limb that's barely big enough to hold their body 10 feet up in the air tells me they got good balance.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about the swings.
Mealworms? Do you buy mealworms?
Mm-mm.
I do. I got caught by the wheel on the Temu thing and ended up with a bag of mealworms. But it's the first bag that I've bought in like, I don't know, 10 years.
Look, when you're on Temu and that wheel starts spinning, all bets are off, okay? All bets are off with that.
It said I was getting free stuff if I bought it, and I didn't get anything else. I don't really understand.
You got to stay in it.
Okay. Nest box herbs.
You
ever bought any?
Mm-mm.
Do your nest boxes smell like lavender?
Nope.
Yeah, mine either. They get shavings.
My nest boxes, they kind of smell like pine.
Special dust bath dirt. I saw a container of it on Amazon when I was scrolling for this.
I'm going to tell you something. So I've tapped into a few markets that were niche, and based on what I've seen folks pay for that stuff, it's tempting to jump on that bandwagon and start making it and selling it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't have time.
Yeah, I have to live with myself. You do not need special dirt.
No.
Oh, you know what? We didn't tell people what a dust bath was.
Okay.
Real quick. They play in the dirt and they get all dirty and then they shake like a dog and all the dirt falls off. It keeps their feathers clean.
Yep.
Okay. So toys for enrichments. I saw one that Christy would like. Xylophone with a little drum and a mirror and some other stuff.
Oh, yeah, she loves those.
Yeah, so those were toddler toys. Those are not chicken toys. And then a new thing I started seeing in the last couple years is putting feather dusters in the brooder boxes.
For what?
To pretend they're mama hens.
I'll just let mine grow up with a complex.
Yeah, mine are dusterless too. Okay, so start off with the basics. Once you get a feel for it, then you can decide if you need anything else.
And if you still continue, I'd like to say welcome to the dark side.
Yes. All right, I hope this helps. Next time.
See y'all next time. Thank you for joining us this week. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you can receive new episodes right when they are released. And they're released every week. Feel free to email us at poultrynerds@gmail.com to share your thoughts about the show. Until next time, Poultry Pals, keep clucking, keep learning, and keep it exciting. This is Carrie signing off from Poultry Nerds. Feathers up, everyone.